Today, I am issuing myself a challenge, and I hope that you will join me. I am putting away the vintage photo and the walnut stain, and I am going to try to create some ephemera on the grayscale. Hi, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio, and welcome back. This all came about because yesterday I was trying to print on my printer and it went totally haywire and it would not print in anything except for grayscale. And I was about to lose it. I ended up having to uninstall the printer and reinstall it, and it was just a big mess. But that got me thinking, when I was doing all the struggles trying to get it to print in color, could you create the same warmth and the same dimensional kind of feeling that we love creating vintage stuff for our journals without using the warmer tones? Vintage photo, walnut stain, tea stain, the coffee, all those things that we do to make things look vintage. And I know in my personal choices that I make, I do that because it gives me the feeling of warmth and just a comforting kind of feeling. It's kind of hard to put into words. Of, that nostalgia and that just being old and, the memory of my grandmother and, the older stuff that she had that I just loved, the handmade quilts and the aprons and all that kind of stuff. So, can you do that on the grayscale? So I went through all of my stuff this morning and I pulled out anything that I had in my stash that could have been, could be in that grayscale kind of theme. And so today I'm going to be working with just these 4 inks. I'm not going to touch my vintage photo, my walnut stain, my tea stain, any of that stuff. I'm going to work with these 4, which are weathered wood, pumice stone, black soot, and hickory smoke. And I have those both in the ink and the oxide. So these are going to be the only inks that I'm going to allow myself to use. We'll see how that goes. It's stressing me out already. And then I just went through everything. I picked out some buttons and some other little pieces of hardware and things that are in that kind of color zone. I went through and I picked out some of these little vellum butterflies. I inked up some hole reinforcements. I pulled some stamps that are gray, in that gray zone. I had this little flower. And then I went through all my washies and my ribbons and my strings, and I pulled out, grays and whites. I did allow myself to do whites, and I allowed myself to do blacks, and then, everything in between. So this is what I'm limiting myself to for my fabrics and laces and things like that. And then I went through, and this was the toughest one, guys. I went through all of my little pieces of ephemera and pulled out anything that would fit into that color scheme. I've got die cuts. I've got, little tickets and stickers and rub-ons. There's more die cuts, embossing. And then I went through and picked out photos that are black and white to keep me in that area. And then I picked out some substrates which I don't have a lot that are white. I picked out some papers, you know, that are kind of in that area, scrapbook papers, and that needs to go in this other pile here. And then the hardest thing was for me to find book pages that were black and white. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I go look for books, I look for books that the pages are yellowed. So that was really hard. I did not have a lot. And some of these you can see still have kind of a yellow tint. I got as white as I could, you know, with what I had, but I don't have a lot. This is actually a piece of scrapbook paper that's black and white. And there are a couple of Tim Holtz's background papers that fall into that category. This one, I could use both sides. This one I cannot. I can only use this side. And it's really pushing it because it kind of has a cream color background. And then this one, again, I can't use the back. And then this one, and again, I can't use the back. So, and there, you know, were a couple little of his cards as well. So, that's what we have to work with. And I am going to try and use some of these substrates and create something that I hope is going to be in the kind of general way that I like to create things. This is just a white tag. I did pull these off because they were gold. And so I can put gray ones on here. These are, they're almost like a watercolor paper. They're very textured, but they're very stiff, and I think they'll make good journal cards. And then I have a vellum envelope, and then I have one of the little seat packet envelopes that we can work with. Again, I don't have a lot of white substrates, so we're going to try our best to make this work. And I think what I'm going to start with is something easy, and I'm going to do a tag because it's already stressing me out, and we haven't even gotten started. So let's see. That is not in there. It's what we can start with. Now, I'm going to look at my pictures first. Where did they go? Okay, and I just pulled out a few, you know, that I thought would be interesting to work with. These are the new Tim Holtz photos, and I love those. So that's a good possibility to start with. I love this little couple from 1940. I think that's really cute. I think these would look good as journal cards. We've got some trains here, some boats. Let's do this couple. I'm probably going to have to cut off that 1940 thing, but we can do that. All right. So here we go. I'll just cut this with my scissors, and I'm going to make just a really tiny white edge. I hope you guys will try this. This might be a total failure, but I thought it'd be something fun to try. Okay, so we know that's going to be our focal point. We got this big old white tag staring at us. So let's see what we're going to do with that. Flip through my papers here. Let's see what we got. Kind of like this floral. It will fit. Like that. Let's start with that. I'm just going to cover the whole tag, I think, to start out with. We'll try to do a couple of these depending on how freaked out I get. Those of you who have followed me for a while, you know I like my vintage grunge. So this is very different. Now, I don't know that I can leave that plain white on the back side either, but I do have, will this fit? I did find some lined paper that actually has kind of grayish lines. I think I'm going to put that on there. Oops. You know, are you guys like I am? Do you avoid white at all costs? If it's white, you got to change it. I mean, that's how I am. So this is very, very different. I should have poked my hole because now I can't see it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I think I can see that good enough to. Got some glue. Get my glue remover thing here. I got this at Jerry's Artarama, which is, we have a local store, but I think they do have online as well. I'm sure there's other places that have it too. That's just where I got mine. get this where it needs to go. Oops, did you hear that? That was my books falling over. Scared me to death. There we go. All right, now, if we ink the edges, do we want to use black soot? It's not black. Sorry, I'm reaching for a dauber here. Just use this one. Let's try black soot. And I'm using the oxide, not the ink. Okay, so far so good. I must have something on my glass mat here, because you see what I did? That's okay. If I wanted grunge, I got it. All right, now let's, because we have the flowers over here, let's, if I can find out where I put them. The one thing that I do like is I do like stamping in hickory smoke. So I'm gonna take these flowers right here and stamp in hickory smoke. Most of my color inks I have in just these little cubes because I don't stamp in color very often. And so I just got the little ones. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now, do we want to edge this photo or do we want to put something else underneath it? That is the question. Let's put a little bit of this text underneath here. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and this has got hickory smoke on it. And that actually says the plow. Okay, I'm happy with that so far. Do we maybe want some kind of little cluster down here at the bottom? I have this ribbon too that's gray with the little roses. Let's get a little piece of this cheesecloth. And maybe a piece of this, which I would never use ordinarily without tea dyeing it. Never in a million years. Okay, and then I have this kind of, what is this called? Eyelash string or eyelash yarn. Do we want to stitch that real quick? I could use gray embroidery thread. I think I have some gray. I have my little rolly cart sitting over here to the side that you guys can't see, but it's got all my ribbon and in a thread and stuff like that. grab is like huge. If I can grab it at all. This little needle box is magnetic on the bottom and keeps taking it back away from me. Put that back in there. Let's use this. I'm going to use all 6 strands so that it shows up well. See, this is why I don't sew. Really? Gonna do that to me? There we go. Let's do one more. Maybe. Okay. Cut that off. Gotta trim those little kind of rogue ones a little bit. Then I'm going to put this on my Fabri-Tac. 3-in-1. I think it's pretty much the same thing. We'll clamp that for a minute. All right, what else are we gonna do to this? And I glued that on there, and this picture's not even glued, but that's okay. All right, so what are we going to, oh, we could use maybe one of these little guys. No, it's actually what I'm thinking of is use a portion of it. But I think they're all going to be too big. Get a number. Nope. And that one's smaller, but it's still not ideal. I like that daisy one. It most matches the flowers in the background, you know? You may not get one of these done the rate I'm going. I could cut part of it off. Oops, I am knocking everything over. That's kind of cute. All right, let's see if I can cut this down a little bit. I'm going to trim some of this white off as well. It's got a lot of white. All right, now what's going to happen if I take black soot, go around the edges? We're going to find out. I'm even going to hit those white areas just a little bit. like that. I might do the same thing around this picture before I glue it down. Okay, so let's glue this down. I was looking for my art glitter glue and it was right in front of me. Okay, I'm going to put dimensional tape on that. Okay, and then I think I'm going to put a ribbon on the top. This is just crinkled seam binding there. Of course, you don't have to do like a bow like that if you're, you know, wanting to save some room in your journal, keep it from bulking up. You can just, you know, tie something like a loopy something, or use baker's twine or something like that. I'm thinking I want to put some washi there. I like that, I think. What do you guys think? Turned out pretty cute. Should we try a different one? See how much time I've been on here. Oh yeah, we can try a different one real quick. All right, so let's do one of let's do one of these. Substrates, and then use one of those botanical, one of these. Let's do this one. Okay. Okay, let's turn this down just a tad. There is a line there that you probably can't see that I'm cutting by. It has just a tiny little white frame around it. And that one doesn't. This is out of a botanical book that I have that has some black and white plates in it. Okay, so what can we do with this? Paper, paper, paper. I've got some dictionary page. We could use some of that. There's not going to be a lot showing. And then one side of this has smooth paper on the back. Wondering, should I cut around that or just leave it? What we could do is we could make like a pocket. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So if we put this here, and put this here, it's not quite wide enough, but we could put it's not quite wide enough either. And boo, 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 boo. Boo hiss. It's too busy. I need something calmer. Let's do this. Alright, so we're going to put this on here. We're going to put this on here like a pocket. So I'm going to ink around the edges. I should have put a notch in there before I... I'm just going to use a little one. Okay, let's put glitter glue. Okay, get the pin in there. Sometimes I'm challenged, guys. All right, and then let's use this. Well, I don't want to do that though, because you won't be able to. Won't be able to write on it. Just a little bit too. Okay, I'm going to use this. my substrate. Still too long. Let's take just a tad more off. There we go. Now, cover it with this. I'm brushing now, so I'm not keeping you guys here forever. And I'm going to round the edges. I'm going to ink in black soot. Now, let's take some of this dictionary page. And we'll just kind of make like a little collage on the front of the card to finish my thoughts, right? Okay. There's a little stamp there. All right, what else do I want? I like the mushroom, I think. All right. I'm going to take this butterfly and stamp it in black soot, I believe. Let's do the test one. Yep. Oh no! There we go. Rescued. And then I'm going to take my little crinkle stamp, crack stamp, put some little cracks on there. Let's do a number. Okay, so there's that part. All right, and I'm going to put this little slide right here, I think. With one of these butterflies underneath it. I'm getting ink everywhere. It's on my hands. All right, I'm going to take a text stamp. I'm going to get my archival ink. because this picture is slick, and I think that's what's causing the ink to smear. So we're gonna stamp it with this instead. Now I'm going to try and cover most of the circle because I'm going to stamp text on there, and I don't want to get it on the clear plastic if I can help it. That, and then that. I'm going to take my gray smoke around the edges. I'm going to glue the outer as far out as I can get on this so I don't smush it onto the clear part. Okay, let's put our journal card in here. Oops, missed an edge. All right, so we did 2 pieces. And I survived. No vintage photo and no walnut stain. And I'm still here. So I hope you guys will try this. If you do, I'll post this on Instagram. And if you guys try it and make something, use the hashtag grayscale. I think that'll be a good one. And that way we can all share what we've done and see everybody's idea on using just the grayscale. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will be back on Tuesday for I Saw It on Pinterest. Bye, guys.